how the greatest investors win in markets and life. What's the secret? What's the ultimate key to these investors becoming great and being truly successful in the markets? Well, in this episode, you're going to be finding out all of the juicy gossip and details. I've taken an in-depth look into some of the world's greatest investors, and we're going to be looking at some of their successes too. Okay, so let's get straight into the video. The most important investment you can make is in yourself. Who quoted that? That was the world famous investor Warren Buffett. And that is a really, really true form, isn't it? I mean, I truly believe that the most important investment you can make is in yourself. And I do really believe that. You know, for me personally, I've not come from any particular source of financial wealth, and I've managed to amass a relatively nice investment portfolio, which is continuing to grow with a great yield year by year. Now, how are we going to break this video down? How are we going to look at how the greatest investors win in markets and in life? What's their secret? Well, for this episode, I'm going to be breaking it down into two specific categories: traits of entrepreneurs and how you can achieve success. Okay, so starting off, traits of some of the greatest investors in the world. Now, for me, mindset is absolutely king. If you don't have mindset, if you don't have the mental capacity, the mindset, the specific unique mentality that these entrepreneurs and investors have, then it's almost a no-go from the start. You'll find that most of these successful entrepreneurs are either highly motivated, willing to take risks, serial innovators, and that they understand the value of a strong peer network while also being extremely disciplined. Now, there's a lot to take in there, isn't it? Highly motivated, willing to take risks, serial innovators, understanding the value of a strong peer network, peer being the key there, and they're disciplined. I think not one of these on their own makes a successful entrepreneur or investor. I think them grouped together is what categorizes you into becoming a successful entrepreneur or financial investor. I think you do need to be highly motivated, because when the going gets tough, you need to have that motivation to push you through those rough days. A case for me would be YouTube. You know, I was doing YouTube for a year and a half before I even reached the requirements to become a monetized content creator here on YouTube. And don't get me wrong, there was plenty of days where I found it very, very tough. And I thought, you know what? Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? But I looked beyond the end of my nose. I looked at the long-term plan. I thought about the long-term goal of my own ambitions. And by doing that, it allowed me to achieve success. And here I am as a monetized content creator on YouTube. So you have to be highly motivated so it gets you through those tough days. You also need to be willing to take risks. This is something, as an investor myself, I definitely lack on. It's something I'm trying to take in my stride more and trying to improve, but I believe that you do need to take risks. You know, when you often hear a lot of stories from successful multimillionaire, billionaire entrepreneurs, normally they did go broke trying to get rich, and that's because they were willing to take risks. And I think that's incredibly important and something I'm working on myself. You'll also find that they're serial innovators. You know, they find success, but instead of just saying subtle and sitting and riding that train of success, they're constantly thinking outside the box. How can I improve it even further so this success doesn't stop? And I think that's very, very important, to be innovative all the time. And especially this one, understanding the value of a strong peer network. What does this mean? Well, this essentially means surrounding yourself with people who have been and who are more successful than yourself. This allows you to, grow with people around you that are achieving what you want to achieve. And they say that if there's 10 people in a room, if those 9 people, you being the 10, are, let's say alcoholics, the chances are you're going to be much more likely to drink and become an alcoholic. Whereas if you surround yourself with 9 other highly motivated people who are successful entrepreneurs, the chances are you're going to be becoming that 10th person, even unknowingly. And then moving on to one of the final categories, it's discipline, isn't it? You have to be disciplined. Everyone has the idea to start and to be great, but when the going gets tough, you need to have discipline, which again comes back to being highly motivated, and that allows you to keep consistent and stay consistent. And as we know, consistency compounds and it brings you success. It's often the hare that people think wins the race, but in fact it's actually the tortoise, because he's playing the long-term game plan. He's not rushing in trying to get quick results. He's slowly building up that pyramid brick by brick. Okay, so you don't have to be extreme to achieve success. You just have to be consistent. Now, I've personally wrote these down because they've benefited me on my journey, and I really do believe that some of my keys to success have to be down to the fact that, I've been consistent. I've been consistent in my ambitions, my goal, and my plans. Everyone wants to start, but not everyone is willing to finish. And it comes back to consistency. Making regular, small, consistent changes have a compound effect over a long period of time. And we often talk about the compound effect here on the channel. You can use it, talking about index funds, the S&P 500, how it's building wealth on a compound interest basis. And the same effect applies in building success and being a successful entrepreneur. Moving on, let's look at some examples of success. Who has had success that's proven itself in the field? Well, we're going to take a look at two investors specifically, starting off with Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett was the lead and basically the owner in control, if you like, of Berkshire Hathaway. Now, over 20 years, Berkshire Hathaway yielded a result of 679%. In the year to date for 2024, they've yielded 25.50%. One of the most successful investment funds in the world. And that's thanks to Warren Buffett and his mindset and his experience. You could also look at Vanguard. Vanguard is owned by the investors. And that's the true value of ownership, isn't it? Creating something that the owners, the investors themselves, regenerate that business into being more successful. I mean, it's a win-win, isn't it? If there's this business and the investors become the owners, then it's a win-win. More people are going to want to invest, and it therefore snowballs and compounds into a bigger success story. Now let's look at Peter Lynch. He was a very, very successful manager of the Fidelity Fund, a very, very successful fund that's still going today. He was the manager of the fund between 1977 and 1990, and this resulted in an average yield every year of 29.2%. That is an incredible amount. And I think in common, these guys simply have the mindset. They have that highly motivated willingness. They have the willingness to take risks. They're serial innovators. They understand the value of a strong peer network, and they're disciplined. So let's look at the conclusion of this episode. We've gone through traits of the greatest investors, how you can achieve success. We've looked at examples of success. Where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with follow proven methods. Be consistent. Risk manage. Take risks, but risk evaluate. Do you need to take this level of risk, or could you step it back a notch? And invest in yourself. Like Warren Buffett said, the most important investment you can make is in yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It's been a video on how the greatest investors win in the markets and in life. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you all in the very next episode. Bye-bye. Well, thank you very much for watching until the end of the episode. You may have noticed something different in this video. Yes, that's some copper bullion coins that were sitting in the backdrop of today's episode. These are going to be given away to my premium future investor channel members over the next coming months, along with gold back notes as well. So for your chance to win these awesome coins and more future amazing prizes, click the link in the description. Become a premium future investor. Not only do you get entered into monthly giveaway prizes every single month, but you also get exclusive members only videos, members only polls, behind the scenes content, and you get priority replies to comments, as well as your YouTube channels linked in every single video description. That's more perks than most other YouTube channels will offer you. I think it's a fair deal, and you can get some real exciting content and some chance to win amazing prizes. So why not? Have a look, click the link in the description and become a channel member. I think you'll enjoy it.